Alrighty folks, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena draft video. Let's finally fire off some Premier Draft War to Spark. And this is the first time we've ever done this with Premier Draft, so it should be pretty exciting. Exciting that they brought this back, but just to note, this format is known for its heavy bombs. So yeah, there's a lot of bombs that can just instantly just win the game if they aren't answered in 1 or 2 turns. But hopefully we can pick up a nice bomb to counteract their bomb and close out the game. But yeah, definitely a pretty controversial set. The amount of planeswalkers and powerful commons, uncommons, and rares and mythics are totally reside in the set. But that being said, it's still there's still a lot of synergy to keep in mind. And that's usually how you win games of Limited, just build a really synergistic deck. And even if you don't open up a bomb rare, we can definitely get to 7 wins. So let's see what we have to find pleasure of opening Pack 1, Pick 1. So Premier Draft, War to Spark. Alright, that's not a bomb rare, it's a pretty bad one. There's Tybalt and Sunblade Angel as good uncommons. Tybalt better in a black-red sacrifice deck. Sunblade Angel is a fine curve topper in the white deck, but still pretty expensive and clunky. At common, we do see Jai's Greeting, one of the best commons in the set. Some people argue that this is better than Omnixilis's Cruelty, but I definitely lean towards Omnixilis's Cruelty a little bit higher because I think black is overall a better color than red in the set, but red is still pretty good. And in the set, you definitely want to be in the Grixis color combination, so I don't mind just first picking Jai's Greeting, just very efficient removal. 2 mana, 3 deal 3 damage at a target creature, scry 1 instant speed is enough to help with the early and mid game, and just being very efficient is quite good, so I think it's an easy Jai's Greeting here. Otherwise, I'll probably take Tybalt as a cheaper card, and white is arguably the worst color in the set, but still can be decent. But I think we'll take a Jai's Greeting here and see where we end up. And after first picking Jai's Greeting, a decent card to follow up will be the Burning Prophet as a find the 2-drop. If we want to be a little bit more adventurous, we can maybe take a Bond of Insight, and this card is pretty good in the blue-red spells deck, but it is more committal. There's a Contentious Plan, which is alright. Ashiok is also controversial as well, because he's a card that can win you the game in a straight-up blue-black deck because it tends to be more controlling, but if you just cast him and he gets answered, he's not really that great because he doesn't really affect the board state, the opponent's life total, or hand. So milling 4 cards is not necessarily super amazing unless you can really make them deck. So yeah, I think it's just between these two, and I think the Bond of Insight is a little bit still too early. The Burning Prophet is an excellent 2-drop. I would happily play this in any red deck. But again, it's kind of like the Bond of Insight where it kind of wants to be in a spells heavy deck, but in case we end up still in like a black-red deck, Burning Prophet's still going to shine, and hopefully the Bond of Insight could wheel. Augur Bolus also best in blue-red, but I think I would rather stay in color. And yeah, as I was saying, there is a Living Twister being passed, so red-green could be open, and this is a pretty strong card. But we're also seeing some excellent blue cards here too. Tamiyo's Epiphany and Callous Dismissal. The Elite Garmage is great too. So do I still want to... so I have an option of moving to red-green with the Living Twister, or I have the option of moving into blue-red still and still keep my options open, and both of these cards are quite good. Let's see. I think we're going to be, if we take the Callous Dismissal, we're going to be more tempo-oriented with cheap creatures, and that's quite solid. If we take the Epiphany, we're going to be more control-oriented, but still fine in any blue-red spells deck. I think I'm going to take the Callous Dismissal here, not because I don't like Living Twister. It is a good card, but the thing is, in red-green, you mostly care about the 4 powers matter, more than throwing lands at the opponent's face or putting lands in the graveyard. So Living Twister, even though it's good and limited, and I wouldn't mind playing it in a red-green deck, is still kind of iffy because, again, red-green in this set cares more about the 4 power matters theme over the whole land thing, and it just doesn't have any great synergy, but still a fine blocker, a pretty amazing blocker on turn 3, and a great card. Here, the Ashiya Skoker I think can wheel for the most part, so the best cards in this pack, Pledge of Unity and Toll of the Invasion. And if I do end up in the Black-Red Sacrifice deck, I think I'm going to take the Toll of the Invasion since it's just a powerful card to cast on curve after Burning Prophet, can amass 1 token, which can be sacrificed later. And yeah, Skoker is nothing special, and yeah, just the red-green cards. The Power 4 Matters theme isn't a Goblin Assault, but it's not a great card since that 1 toughness it gets answered by Lava Mass token. So I think we'll take a Toll the Invasion in case Black-Red is open. Now we do see Contentious Plan versus Band Together versus Augur of Bolas. Augur Bolas is better in a much more controlling blue-red deck. I think this is a sign that maybe green-red is open, so maybe I should just take the Band Together. I wouldn't mind a Contentious Plan 2 in the blue-red spells deck, and it's definitely a good cantrip and a good card to be having, but it's definitely at a lower power level than Band Together, so we might have missed out on a Living Twister, but that's fine. We can still play a nice green-red beatdown deck, and having a Band Together can help us clear a path, so maybe we should just be in blue-red, red-green. And now, I think I like the Spellgorger Weird here. I think usually this card in other sets is usually just best in a blue-red spells deck, but given that there's a lot of planeswalkers in this set and even cantrips like Guild Globe, you can still play this in like a more creature-heavy versions. Like we can still be in a red-green deck with lots of creatures, and this can still shine since there's a lot of good planeswalkers. And yeah, it has to be the best card out of this pack. It keeps us in red, and this is just a scary card that needs to be answered immediately, or else it just grows out of hand. If this wasn't in his pack, I would maybe still take the Sky Theater Strix since it has good synergy, but we'll take a Spellgorger Weird. Luckily, we found a nice flexible option, and I'll take a Raging Kronk. If we do end up in red-green, this card is also going to shine as a nice 4-power enabler. So yeah, we're kind of set up in red for sure, but we just don't know what our third color is. And late pick Tamiyo's Epiphany. What's going on? This card is excellent. Remember, Behold the Multiverse in Call Time. Sure, this doesn't have Foretell, but it's still Scry 4, Draw 2, so it digs you pretty deep and provides a lot of fuel in the late game. And I'd be pretty happy to play this even if we're going to be a much more aggressive version of the blue-red deck with what we currently have. So going to take it here. Now, not a big fan of red whites, but there's really nothing else in this pack. I don't even like this in red green. I guess if we do end up in black red sack, I could just use the clunky 5-drop. The Blind Blast is pretty filler too. I mean, I guess I'll take the Blind Blast. There's a chance we could end up playing it still, but up in the sideboard. And if I still end up in red green, we'll take the Vivian's Grizzly. So it seems like the teamer colors are open. And some of the white, but again, red-white is pretty abysmal in this set since they just don't have any great synergy overall, and you don't really want to do combat tricks in this set as much since there's a lot of removal and blowouts. So, okay, the Casmia's Transmutation is a sign maybe blue is open as well, but green is also open, so we're kind of in the teamer colors. If I would like to pick a color combination, I would rather just be in blue-red, to be honest, since I think they synergize more better than red-green, and again, I've stated recently that you kind of just want to be in Grixis in this set overall, so we'll see. And this can still be a fine sacrifice target if we do end up in blue-red and we have hard fires. Now that being said, we did open up a pretty powerful Busted Bomb, so maybe we just still end up in red-whites with the God Eternal's Oketra. Although we didn't pick up any white cards, we can still maybe leverage it. Otherwise, there's another Burning Prophet here, which would also be excellent. But I'm not passing up a God Eternal Ketra here. I mean, yeah, I'll still speculate on it, and there's a chance we can always wheel another second Burning Prophet. And it's not a card. It's a card that I would probably take if God Eternal wasn't in this pack, since there's no good teamer cards. The second best card is like the God Eternal Taskmaster. So, yeah, if white is open, I guess I'll just transition here, because this card is just one of those broken bombs that I was talking about in the set that can just overtake the game if it goes unanswered. But now the white cards are looking pretty bad, but the black cards are pretty good. The green cards are also okay. Thundering Ceratok. And I guess in case we end up in black-red, we'll take a Nixl's Cruelty. So I guess black is also still on the menu. So we'll just take a Cruelty here over the Planeswalker, which is also fine, but we're not taking over Cruelty. Okay, now we keep seeing a lot of these black cards. Another Spellgorger Weird, Contentious Plan. Dreadmalkin is excellent in black-red, so maybe black-red is open from my left-hand side. That being said, maybe I still take the Spellgorger Weird here just to stay open. Because again, we can still be in blue-red, and we did see a couple of good blue cards in the last pack. I think Bolosicidal can be nice in the Abzan colors where there's life gain, and you're trying to go green-black splashing white, but overall it's a little bit ambitious as well. Yeah, we're seeing some good black-red cards. I'm not sure if I want to be in black yet, so I think I'll take another Spellgorger Weird here, but we'll see. And out of this pack, we can take an Erratic Visionary. Now the white cards also seem amazing, so this is interesting. If blue-red's open, I don't mind an Erratic Visionary on turn 2. The Grim Initiate is going to be best in a black-red deck. There's also the Karn's Bastion, which is also a nice land that can help with the proliferate theme, but we're not really proliferating that much outside of putting counters on the Spellgorger Weird, so it's not going to overperform. I think I'll take the Erratic Visionary or the land. You know what? The land is nice. There's really nothing else in this pack I like. We could use this even in blue-red. And wow, we see some black-red cards here, but I think blue-red is where it's supposed to be, because again, the right-hand side on my right really isn't. We didn't see a lot of black cards. We're seeing all the black cards from my left-hand side now, and Role Reversal is still a very good card. Maybe we can make some amass tokens to give away. And yeah, this is still late, so pick 5 is late, but we're seeing black cards. But again, I think we want to be in blue-red from the looks of it. So yeah, I think blue seems a lot more open from my right-hand side. So I think I'm sticking with blue-red, and we still have a pretty fine, solid deck so far. So let's take the Role Reversal. And then we'll take a Jace's Triumph, so that was nice. There's also Invading Manticore, but the more card draw, the better. This is more of a black-red card here. Also wouldn't mind my Invading Manticore, but 3-mana draw 2 is just too good. And we'll take a Aven Eternal as a nice evasive threat. Also wouldn't mind a Callous Dismissal here as well, which could also be better than the Aven Eternal, because we're not really a Flyers deck. Sure, it can make an amass token, but the Callous Dismissal could just be what our deck is trying to do. We're just trying to maybe be aggressive enough to tempo the opponent out, grow our Spellgorger Weirds. So could actually prefer the Callous Dismissal. I think it makes more sense with our game plan. We're just trying to keep the curve low, and even the Burning Prophet wield from the first pack. So we'll take it here. And we'll take a random 4-drop as fine filler that can help us curve out and deal some damage. And might not play the Grim Initiate here, but if we pick up some Heartfires, it's fine. So yeah, I can see myself playing the Grim Initiate now with the Heartfire here. So we're going to be a pretty nice aggressive blue-red deck over the black-red sacrifice deck that was open for my left-hand side, since again it seems from my right-hand side it was cut off. So a lot of things important to be aware of in draft is what colors were open in your first pack to decide to have a better, clear idea of what you want to do in pack 2. And it seems like blue-red is again where I want to be. And now I'm happy playing this Grim Initiate with the Heartfire, and it has nice synergy with the Callous Dismissal as well. Saheeli Silverwing could be more playable over Turret Ogre just because that's an evasive flyer, and if we can grow this enough to make 4 power, I guess the Turret Ogre could also be pretty reasonable, and a Lake Invading Manticore, nice curve topper for the deck in case we need one. I don't think we're playing double Karn's Bastion here. Best cards are like Vraska and Leyline Prowler. He has a pretty sad pack. I could also just take an Ashiok Skulker as a fine filler on 5. And yeah, double Karn's Bastion, I don't think I want to do that because having too many colorless lands is not what you want in Limited, so we'll take a Ashiok Skulker here. And I'm not a big fan of Invade the City, but I do like the Aven Eternal on turn 3. I clicked a little bit too quickly, sorry. I forgot. Maybe I need to go over this draft, but the Aven Eternal is a fine pickup here. It's definitely better than the Invade the City, even though it's a signpost blue-red uncommon. And it's okay. It can be pretty okay, but it still requires a lot of work. And I'll take a Chandra's Triumph still late in the pack. Great removal spell. Definitely wasn't the wrong pick out of that pack. And I think Aven Eternal was correct. Didn't see any Rao's Outbursts or anything. And Bond of Insight is also amazing, since it can also get back our instances and sorceries, and we do have a couple of them. So I do like playing this on turn 4. So blue-red is definitely open here. And if we pick up a couple of Heartfires, this gets even better. But we can play it without Heartfire, honestly. With Callous Dismissal, we could just amass one, and it's just not a very exciting 1-drop in this type of deck. So there's definitely something to be said about not having the Grim Initiate. We can also play the Casmina's transformation. Although not an amazing removal spell, it still can answer gods if we need to, and it still binds something down and nerfs it into a 1/1. But with a lot of proliferate and counters running around the set, it's not the most it's not the most whatchamacallit, not the most I think it's a Ugin's Conjurate. We can play this on earning curve, great against Death Touch, and even better in the late game. And it's just a very flexible option over the Cyclops. And I also don't mind Bolt Bent in this deck. It can be a counter spell, and if we do have some 4 power going on, it's even better. And we can definitely grow our Spellgorger, keep our Spellgorger weirds high powered, and we also have a Raging Kronk, so this can be a nice alternative counter spell. I'm actually a big fan of Bolt Bent, and and I don't mind actually playing Augur Bolus, even though it's a better card in a much more controlling blue-red spells deck. Sometimes just getting a nice card off of this can be decent, and we have a lot of instances in sorcery, so I think it's going to pan out. And we could just use one more playable. We could just go 17 lands with double invading Manticore, and that's all right as well, since we could use some curve toppers. But I can also see cutting it to lower the curve and go 16 lands, throwing Grim Initiate and maybe the Transmutation. Although we can't search up the Transmutation with Augur Bolus. Blind Bat Blast doesn't seem great on turn 3. So maybe 17 lands and something like this seems good. But we'll see what we manage to pick up in the final packs. But I probably need to look over this draft to see what I took over Aven Eternal, because I might have missed out on something, not sure, but this is still a high power level card and fits very well with our type of deck and game plan. It was definitely over Invade the City, I have to imagine. But in this deck I can actually see Invade the City being decent. Okay, now I have a Turret Ogre, and I mean, the Turret Ogre does have synergy with Bolt Bent, so I might play it over the second Silverwing. Like, we're not, like, and if we can curve out with, like, large Spellgorger Weirds, it's pretty solid, too. And the fact that it enables Bolt Bent actually makes it maybe more preferable over the second Silverwing. Not sure. And I think I'll take the Skulker here, because we do have a lot of 4s. Maybe we just play a Totally Lost at the top end. And maybe just, yeah, we could just main deck a Totally Lost, which I'm also not against. Or maybe a Sarkhan's Catharsis. We don't have a lot of stack fodder for Grim Initiate, so it's going to be underwhelming. So we'll see. We could just go 17 lands and double Skulker. Or 16. We could go 16 lands and double Skulker. I actually don't hate that idea. But we'll see what this deck looks like. Alright, the Conjuring is a nice flexible card. Cast it early, cast it late. Better if it's like, it's better. This is better as a 4-drop or a 5-drop, so I'm gonna keep it as a 4-drop here. This is good. I don't mind the Augur and the double burning profits. Aven Eternal is nice. The card draw is really nice, and the role reversal is nice too with the mass tokens that we generate from Callous Dismissal. But I can also see this having some issues later on if we aren't able to steal anything great. But we can always give them an Augur Bolus and steal control of like a bomb like Ugin or something. Bond of Insight is nice. Same with Tamiel's Epiphany. Bolt Bent could also be replaceable. Turret Ogre, Silverwing. I don't mind a copy here. So maybe this is 17. I guess we could run 16 lands, but if we're gonna play like, we could run 16 lands and cut a Totally Lost, or we can run 16 lands and cut an Ashiok Skulker. Maybe something like this could be fine. Like, I guess this is 17 lands now. So if we cut 16, can we really incorporate another card into the deck? It won't, I mean, but what cards are we interested in? Maybe another Silverwing, maybe another Manticore. Even though, I guess if we're going to go run 16 lands, we don't want to run another Manticore or Silverwing because it's going to be clunky. The cheap cards we're interested in is maybe the Grim Initiate and maybe the Casminus Transmutation. But I've said in this set that there's a lot of ways to put 1/1 counters on the creature, and this isn't great. Sure, it can answer a bomb, a god, but it's not great. So I guess we're most likely just going to stick with 17 lands. So the options to swap cards is kind of something like this. I have to imagine maybe a Totally Lost. I'm fine with 1 Skulker, invading Manticore. I guess these are the cards that we're most likely interested in keeping in the deck. And these are cards that we can maybe swap out for something else. So how about Totally Lost? What do we want with it? I mean, it's pretty nice for the Burning Prophet and the Spellkeeper Weird, and it's just a nice tempo play, honestly, on turn 5. I don't think we want double Ashiok Skoker because it's a pretty expensive mana sink, although it does help us close out the game quite nicely. I think I like one copy of Silverwing just as an evasive threat. The Turd Ogre could again still be solid if we can get the 4 power. It's nice with the Raging Kronk. 2 spells casted over the Spellgorger Weird can also enable the Bolt Bent. I mean, this is kind of like the Bolt Bent package that we're looking at. If we want to cut the Bolt Bent package, what do we throw in? Throw another Silverwing, maybe just throw another Ashiok, and then just throw in a Totally Lost, something like this. But the Bolt Bend packages can be pretty fun too. I don't really like double Silverwing. Like the Bolt Bend, yeah, the Bolt Bend is pretty fun because we could use again a pretty cheap efficient counterspell if we can enable 4 power. So then it makes it more likely that we just want to have the Turret Ogre as a cheap creature to help enable it. So maybe something like this is still fine with 17 lands. And our mana sinks include Ashiok Skoker, the Karn's Bastion potentially, and expensive Ugin's Conjurant. I guess this could be a 6-drop. Like, I wouldn't mind a second Invading Manticore, but this can also be a fine 6-drop in the deck. And yeah, we might Bond of Insight into a spell that we want to cast, or Tamiel's Epiphany. So yeah, I guess 17 lands like this is pretty decent too. So yeah, let's give this a shot. Seems like a fun deck. Izzet Tempo. It seems like an Izzet Tempo deck, where we bounce things, grow our Spellkeeper Weirds, generate card advantage, keep up maybe like a cheap counter spell, and this is kind of like a curve, I have to imagine. So yeah, seems fine. And our picture, Role Reversal maybe, or Spellkeeper Weird. Let's look at the mana base though. I'm slightly favoring red, but I still think we keep it even split, because by cutting a land, by making making one of them higher than the other, the Karn's Bastion makes it a little bit weird. So yeah, I don't mind this. Seems good. Let's give this a shot. Actually, let's check the creature and non-creature count. We should have enough creatures, I have to imagine, so we don't need to fit in a second Ashiok. Yeah, 12 creatures is where you want to be with this type of deck. More like Izzet spells, actually. Let me change it to Izzet spells. Alright, seems fine. Spellgorger Weird on turn 3 or Aven Eternal. Could play the Aven Eternal out first, because he could have a Triumph, and I'd rather have a bigger Spellgorger Weird maybe than the Aven Eternal, because I think I want value off of this Spellgorger Weird, so I think I'll Aven Eternal here, and if he snipes it down, I'd rather have that die than Spellgorger Weird. Although he would have definitely killed this end of turn, so this is a good sign he doesn't have to Triumph, so I can maybe safely play out this Spellgorger Weird. Question is, am I fine trading flyers here? I think I am. Let's get in for 2. Could have maybe attacked first to provide less info, but this is fine. Hopefully he doesn't have a removal for Spellkeeper Weird, Spellgorger Weird I mean, and I can just bounce a token and maybe get in for 4. Spellkeeper Weird. I mean, if I bounce in, I can get in for damage. I guess I can also just totally lost it. Lots of options. I guess I'd rather just be mana efficient and totally lost. So I can totally lost an attack this turn and just waste his turn, waste his time, and I think I'll try that. Yeah, let's just do that and get in for 3. Tapping out for 5 to put a card on top of his library isn't great, but we just want to get in here, and then we can Callous Dismissal and maybe spell Turret Ogre the following turns. We'll see. Okay, we might have a bounce spell here. Yep, and then we'll bounce it back, I guess. I mean, I'd rather bounce a token, but this does reset the counters, which could be better. Yeah, it could be better. Like, I do get value off of doing this, but yeah, just getting rid of counters is almost like killing the 2/2, I have to imagine. And then hopefully Augur Bolus can dig us towards something. Hopefully no 6-drop, he's just gonna maybe... Hopefully no double spell, actually. Okay, no double spell at least. He can maybe sack this to get something. Could play a 6-drop, could just... Yeah, I guess we want to get our 6-drop down. And I'm fine maybe attacking with both. Actually, no. If I attack for 4 here... Yeah, attacking for 4 here is nice. BC would need to double block, and this is a lot of damage. He could sack this and use this to bounce my token, but I can still maybe attack past this 2/2 with the 4/5. Okay, makes sense. Maybe I can find a Callous Dismissal off the top too. Could be mana efficient this turn instead. No, let's Augur here. Let's Augur. This seems better. This Bond of Insight is great. And I can get a bunch of stuff back for next turn. So I think I just do it here, so I can get more spells for next turn. And yeah, Jaya's Greeting's excellent. I think I want a Callous Dismissal for sure and a Jaya's Greeting. And I can also just attack with the Invading Manticore, and if he wants to double block, I can take out the Weird, which is totally fine by me. Just getting him for 4 is nice, and then we can just bounce the 3/3 and Jaya's Greeting the 3/3 next turn. So the opponent's deck is similar. And we're ahead on tempo, so... If he does have, let's say, the counterspell, the lazotep plating, that can be pretty annoying. Okay. Bouncing justified time. I think I could also just chump this so I don't take 1,000,000 damage back. So, I do want a double spell. But I think it's fine maybe just playing the Spellgorger Weird and Jaya's Greeting. Let's think. I mean, I think I need to bounce a token just to have value then, and then maybe play a 4-drop to deal 2 damage to his face. Not sure. I mean, the more mana efficient play would be just this, and then play the Turret Ogre. I think I'll do that, just to put him at 1 life for this turn. And it's more mana efficient. So the opponent's deck is definitely very similar and quite powerful too. But we managed to take this one. But he has enough blockers still. So we might just want to play double spell, Keeper Weird, and go ham. Yeah, we could set something crazy next turn, just double spell Keeper. He might just counter it though. Yep. I mean, I guess if I just kill the 2/2, he's just dead. Because I can just attack with all. The safer option is to play out the Spellkeeper Weird. He bottoms, okay. I think I'll go for the safer route here and just play out the Spellkeeper Weird. Because I'm afraid he could have like a Jaya's Greeting end of if I go for an all-out attack, and that can be kind of bad for me, so let's just say go. And I also have card draw too to find more action. Yeah, he probably has Giant's Greeting end of turn. I think he does. Otherwise, we'll see. Yep. This is a better name. Alright, we can cast our spells at least with all of our colors, so... Alright. Just leave the Kronk, and if not, we can Jace's Triumph. The Kronk into Turret Ogre is quite nice too, but he could totally invasion us on turn 3, so luckily we went on the play. And I'm definitely going to leave the Kronk here so I can leave the Turret Ogre. So totally invasion can come next turn, and that can be quite annoying. I just want to curve out here, and if he takes our Turret Ogre, we can at least Jace's Triumph to draw into more action. Vizier, okay, we do have bounce spells to get rid of the amassed tokens, but we'll just leave the Turret Ogre to deal some damage early on. The question is, do I even want to play out the Skulker next turn or draw cards? I mean, the Skulker is nice too because we can activate to get past the 1/1. And next turn I can just double spell. So I think I'll play the Skulker, and if it counters it, he counters it. That's totally fine. And then I don't think we're attacking here because he can just generate more mass tokens to give Death Touch with. Just see a Cruelty end of turn, yeah, or Death Sprout. Alright, just a multicolor Sultai green deck. So he should be ramping to some powerful Planeswalkers that we need to address. So, and this is holding the line. Definitely a good 3-drop for him. But there's also Kraus Stinger in this set that also holds this deck off. Yeah, Nissa. Alright, are we even going to win this? Yeah, this is why I don't like War to Spark. Just stuff like this is just really annoying. And he just built around it very well. So unless we can kill all of this... Yeah, we're probably not going to kill Nissa here. What am I talking about? Maybe we can just make a giant spell Gorge a Weird and win the game that way. Not sure. But he probably has removal for days. Totally lost. Maybe I totally lost the zombie army and do some sort of attack to take out Nissa, but yeah, this guy definitely got fed all the green-black stuff, from what it looks like. Okay, at least he's tapping the land he hasted. And hopefully no casualties of war here, but it's probably casualties. Okay, just an Ugin. And I can still bounce everything and go for an attack onto Nissa. Alright, so we can play lands. We can... totally lost the Conjurant. Yep. We can bounce the token. Maybe I should bounce the 1/1, and then we can send all at Nissa.
Do not assume I am fragile.
But he's just gonna block with lands all day. Yeah, Nissa is just a complete bomb. He's gonna keep the 3/3s back, it seems like. So I just need to find maybe a bounce spell against the Conjured, and maybe I can swing out on Nissa, kill it, and then win that way. Yeah, this is gonna be hard. And he's just gonna make a bunch of 3/3s with Vigilance. Yeah, that's even worse. So I do need to just answer this 8/8. I guess we can just make a big. We can block off one of the lands and just play defense for now. Keep up the Bolt Bent. But Nissa is going to be a problem. If he has a counterspell, I can always move the Bolt Bent onto his Ugin's Conjurant. So I'm hoping he actually finds a removal spell so we can counter the Conjurant and then swing back at Nissa. Okay. And then... yeah, it's the opponent's creatures. That's so dumb. I'll just concede. I thought I could switch it onto, like, the Nissa, but it only targets the opponent's creature, so it still targets mine, but I still think the Bolt Bent is kind of useful in this type of deck. Alright, first loss against a broken ramp deck that this guy was just somehow fed. And welcome to war, guys. If I could target Nissa, maybe I definitely think I had a huge chance of winning that game. But she's just such a powerful bomb. And then the green with all the nutty start was insane too, so yeah. There's also, yeah, there's a lot of good ramp going on with green in this set. And then the fact that you can splash all these powerful planeswalkers also make green a versatile archetype. What do I think about this? It doesn't look great. I mean, I can't even cast any of these early. I can spell Gorger Weird on turn 3, but I don't have any cheap spells to follow up, so I think it's a mulligan. I think I have to keep this. I think I bombed the turret Ogre. Hopefully draw into some action. And hopefully the opponent doesn't play turn 2 Paradise Druid and ramp into an insane bomb I can't answer. So blue-green. Okay, so it's a proliferate deck. Might need to find some amass tokens to stack to Heartfire, so Callous Dismissals would be fine. This is just going to be a ground blocker for now. Although the opponent is playing a bunch of multicolor stuff, it seems like, so hopefully this can survive. Otherwise, it could just be difficult to close out the game, but yeah, it could just be the multicolor black-green deck. So I need to find a Chandra's Triumph for this. Don't think we're hard-firing. And okay. Maybe we can totally lost this and buy some time next turn. Because it's expensive to cast, so it's almost like a Callous Dismissal anyways. We can attack for 3, he blocks it. We can totally lost the 2/3 in response. And hopefully no insane removal spells. Okay, that's pretty sweet. Although, it's better to play this as a second spell as opposed to your first with the Thunder Drake, so he missed out on some value. Yep. Triumph is nice. Can Triumph and, I mean, Totally Lost is also pretty decent as well, but by triumphing here, I could maybe, let's attack first, actually. But he could just go for the trade. Let's think. I can Totally Lost. If I attack and he blocks, I could totally lost the 3/4, so I think we attack. and get a free kill off the Conjuring, but if he's not blocking, then we kill it. And 4 is a lot of damage. Don't know if I want to keep up Hawkfire. Probably not. Let's play the Kronk. And then eventually we can just bounce the 3-4, reset the counters, and just attack for a ton of damage. Bond is also nice. I guess Bond can also fetch back a card here. Ooh, Bolt Bent. So having the counter spell up is also nice. Do I attack with both? I could just totally lost an attack here. Alternatively, I can Bond of Insights and keep something up here. I think I'll attack for 4. And totally lost is really nice. If I can get it, that is. If he double blocks, I'd be happy too, because what I can do is now I can bounce the Spellkeeper Weird and kill off the Type Bearer Giant. And if he does nothing, then I can still bounce the Spellkeeper Weird. Okay, this isn't bad. Let's order the Type Bearer Giant first, because I don't want to bounce that. I'd rather bounce the Spellkeeper Weird here and kill the Type Bearer Giant, so then we can more effectively attack next turn. And we also have Bolt Bent up. And I'm hoping he has a target we can counter, maybe. Callous Dismissal. We'll let this resolve first. Return target non-land permanent to his owner's hand. So I think I want to Bolt Bent this. And instead bounce my Raging Kronk, or no, the Thunder Drake. So it's nice having that 1 mana counterspell in the deck. And now we can also just Callous Dismissal and Heartfire for the win, I think. So this is 11 damage. Yeah, I think we attack first, and if he just takes it, we can just Heartfire. So Bolt Bent is really powerful. But yeah, Bolt Bent isn't bad. As you can see, just having that efficient 1 mana counterspell can catch the opponent off guard. And can definitely turn the tides, so doesn't seem like a bad card to include in the deck. Well, no creatures. I would love some Spellkeeper Gorger Weirds, but I think this is still alright. Hopefully no Paradise Druid on 2. Okay, this is a pretty nice card to play on curve. And yeah, Role Reversal, but Spell Gorger Weird to the bottom, that feels bad. But I can maybe exchange this for a powerful creature on his side eventually. But yeah, at least I can curve out with an Aven Eternal, which is great. Hopefully no Sorin's Thirst. Stupid Discord, making me unable to click. So now we're applying some pressure. Spark Reaper is a fine Giant's Greeting target. Because it's going to be annoying later, and we do want to get him for damage, 2 extra damage maybe. Or I can Tamiel's Epiphany, which is also fine. So lots of options. Maybe we just Epiphany and attack for 2. Because I just want to get this out of the way. And it's just pretty expensive. Ooh, the Conjuring's nice. Bolt Bent can be pretty awesome. Although we don't have any 4 power currently. So it might not be that great. So maybe I don't want the Bolt Bent. Maybe I don't want the land. The Totally Lost could be fine, but just requires a lot of mana. The Conjuring is also okay. This is a weird keep. I mean, I could just keep the land as well, and the Totally Lost. I guess the land and the Conjuring is nice, so we can make a 5-5 next turn, and then have a Totally Lost active, So yeah, I guess this is okay, and we do need to hit our land drops, so this seems fine. We can always play as a 5/5, as a 6/6. We might also just use a removal spell next turn, so we'll see. Okay. Might want to take away my Jaya's Greeting. Ooh, he's a little bit scared of 5/5. That's fine with me. But he's all tapped out. Yeah, I think this turn we can Greeting, or we can totally Lost. There's a lot of things we can do. We can bounce a token, we can Greeting, we can totally Lost the token. I don't think we need anything to roll Reversal currently, so... yeah, I think I'll just Greeting here, and if he wants to trade for the token, that's fine, because I do have a follow-up Callous Dismissal, and I don't think I need land. This is a good target to Greeting, and I'm fine getting him for 3. He can trade the token, because again, I do have a backup token to make with Callous Dismissal. But the deck is lacking some pressure right now. But maybe we can close out with Heartfire if we deal enough damage. Prismite is medium. Don't know why anyone would even play this card, honestly. It's kind of a joke, in my opinion. Alright, we can keep land in hand. Do we have any discard effects that we don't mind? I guess we could, if he has Davriel, we don't mind keeping the land in his hand, and we're fine attacking for 3. He might need this to fix, though, which is kind of funny, so I could bounce this back since he might need to fix. Yeah, I think we might want to bounce the Prismite back, because he might use this to fix for his mana. And this can set him off, because he's currently just stuck with black mana, and I think this is totally fine. And he needs to pay extra mana to filter with the Prismite, so bouncing seems fine. We also progress the board state with 1 token to increase our clock. Yeah, he seems like he desperately needs mana, but I can attack, and if he blocks, I can proliferate with the Karn's Bastion. Do we want to proliferate? It is 4 mana, which is quite a lot, and we want to keep up our instances, so I think this is fine. And yeah, he can filter mana next turn, but I don't really want to kill this. Like, I can totally lost this main phase. Cruelty. I can sacrifice it, Heartfire's face. I can also just bounce on the top of my library. There's a lot of options we can do here. If I Heartfire here, I think I want to just get Heartfire value while I can and just Heartfire his face with the Aven Eternal. Because I think that's really the only way I can really win, I think. He's at 3 life, so if he plays anything large, we'll just roll Reversal, give him a token. He's probably going to use this to filter mana, of course. Kaya, that's annoying. Sure. At 6 life, I don't think I want to do anything here. Yeah, okay, we'll just exchange 1 for 2. Spellgorger Weird, that's pretty cool. Let's get out there, and I don't think I roll Reversal. Hoping he doesn't kill the Weird, because this could be my ticket out of this game. But we can always proliferate, I guess, eventually on the token to grow it. I could just totally lost this in attack next turn, but then I'll have to use up my whole entire mana. So I'm hoping there's something I can bounce. He could play Kaya here, and that can be pretty annoying, like the Kaya Planeswalker. Land. I could just roll Reversal, but that doesn't seem great. Or I could just totally lost. I think I'll attack for 1, keep up totally lost, because I might want to bounce something. I can end of turn proliferate, so I think this is fine. Keep up my instant. I can bounce it. Yep. That was a weird game. Opponent was missing his mana forever. I think he was like black-white, but mostly mono-black. Maybe he was playing a Bola Citadel deck, and he needed all the life gain. So, who knows. Okay. Doesn't seem great. We need blue mana, so I think it's a mole. And I can keep this one. Do I bomb the Insight, or do I bomb the Raging Kronk? The Kronk is decent. The Bond of Insight is nice in the late game. But we do have the Epiphany to refuel, actually. But it does feel bad having to bomb this. Maybe I just bomb the Kronk. The Crunch, I mean. But it's not like we're going to cast this anytime soon. It's quite a nice card, though. But this could be kind of clunky, honestly. Yeah, let's cut the Raging Crunch. And we can curve out with the Spellgorger, draw some more action. And there's definitely better cards in the Crunch. And I do like the Bond to loop back our card draw spells, too. It's just a lot of value. Hopefully no removal spell on the Spellkeeper Weird. So I guess the Crunch can allow us to play around Chandra's Pyrohelix. But probably see an end of turn or Jaya's Greeting. Has to be one of those because there's a slight pause. Yeah. Yep. This is a good common. Don't sleep on it, folks. And now he's developing an Arlen's Wolf, so now we need to find an answer to that. So I think I'll Tamiel's Epiphany first. Ooh, Role Reversal and Augur of Bolas. I guess I can bottom land. Next turn we can Augur of Bolas into Role Reversal. I like all these spells, actually, because the Callous Dismissal can actually give us a token to Role Reversal. I mean, I guess if I take the Augur here, what happens? I mean, the Augur can be nice too. Maybe I need to draw these two first and then play the Augur to turn afterwards to hit something. So I think I like that. I like just drawing these two and then having the Augur to hit something too. I like all three of these cards. So we can take 3 and then play the Skulker to maybe hold off for the time being. The Grizzly is whatever, but Skulker can allow us to block nicely next turn. Unless he has removal. Could also Callous Dismissal, but we're stuck with blue, so I think Skulker here is fine. And maybe that can apply some pressure against the opponent if we can curve out. I think I'm bouncing that. I can also Role Reversal it. So I like doing this. I like Callous Dismissaling here. Bouncing the Challenger Troll, and next turn we can get rid of it. I don't think I'm attacking for 3 here. So then we can Role Reversal, exchange the Amass Token 40, Challenger Troll. I could also exchange Augur Bolas if I... Actually, I need a double blue, so never mind. I'm being stupid. What am I talking about? No double blue, but we can dig towards it. Maybe I'm forced to just take 6 this turn. I guess I can play Augur. And I'm fine maybe chump blocking with the token and giving him the Augur instead. Callous Dismissal, also great. So yeah, maybe I can just take 6, or maybe I can just chump with the token. Because again, like, he could proliferate onto this and it can be a problem. 6 damage is a lot. So yeah, let's just do this instead. Give him the Augur. He does have higher toughness, but again, I don't want to give him the token. We can also bounce again and redo the Role Reversal, but again, we need a second blue source, so I might just Role Reversal next turn, just to get out of my way, and then we can even get back our stuff. And this seems a lot better. Could have a Heartfire too, which I also wouldn't mind him doing. You could have Band Together to kill this as well, but this is fine. Play the land. Sigo. And we are missing blue mana, but I think we can stabilize against this opponent because he doesn't seem super hyper-aggressive, more mid-rangey. Taking his Challenger Troll is nice, so then we can start pressuring him with the Manticore as well. And we can always bounce the Crawl Stinger and get in a nice attack. And roll Reversal eventually again against another problematic threat. Bloomhulk, okay. So luckily we didn't give him the Amass token because he would have proliferated onto it. But this Challenger Troll is still going to be a problem for him. And this is a good ground blocker too, so interesting circumstance. No blocks here. Surprised he did that. Yeah, I'm quite surprised he attacked because I don't guess now I don't really need to bounce it, so I can just play the invading Manticore instead. And then yeah, I don't think I need to Callous here, and he can only block with one creature since the Challenger Troll only deals with yeah, you can't really double block it. That's fine. Could have a sack effect or something, but now invading Manticore looks nice. It can now trade for the Crawl Stinger as instead. And I should keep in mind the opponent could also be running an opposing Bolt Bent because he's also green-red. Could have another Pyro Helix. Yep. And I'm fine taking 2 again. And now he might be more inclined to stay back with the Death Toucher. Could have a Fight Spell. Another Arlen's Wolf, but yeah, he can't attack past anything. So this seems great, and now I can bounce the Crawl Stinger, and then make a giant Conjurant, and get in for a nice attack. He could have a Bolt Bent too, but this is quite strong. And then we're just fine attacking with the 4-powered creatures. And then eventually the Ugin's Conjurant can also start attacking. How much is this? 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we'll make a 7/7. Could even make it larger and Bound of Insight, but I think I just like getting this down while I can. And then eventually forcing the opponent to just chump block all day. We can get back in our Roll Reversal, another 2 bounce spells, the Epiphany to find more action. So lots of options here. I can always Spellgorger Weird first and keep growing. I think I like that too. Just Spellgorger Weird first. Bond of Insight. No removal spells, but we do have a Callous Dismissal. Yeah, and the Roll Reversal can be a nice combo, but I don't want to give him a 2/2 token. So maybe I just use double Callous Dismissal to grow my own. Yeah, this is really powerful. The Bond of Insight is definitely incredibly powerful in these decks. Oh, yeah, he's just dead. So luckily I went for the cheap Callous Dismissal over the Aven Eternal. Like, Aven Eternal is great. I would play him in blue-red, but he's better off like in like a blue-green proliferate deck. But the Amass token is still a relevant mechanic in the blue-red spells deck, so either way it's pretty versatile, but I still think that, again, the Callous Dismissal fits more well in our blue-red spells theme. So yep, 4 wins, so made back most of our gems. Hopefully we can get to 7 with this. Can lead with Burning Prophet, and the Scry is nice to help us find more action. Make sure we have double blue for Roll Reversal as well. Opponent could have his own opposing Jaya's Greeting, but yeah, we do need to lead here. And yeah, no Jaya's Greeting, so that's a good sign. Could bounce. Actually, that's a good target for Jaya's Greeting. I can't think of any other good targets, so let's do this first. And and gotta remember we have 2 scries, one from the Burning Prophets. Do I need a second Burning Prophet? Don't think I need it. I mean, I could double spell next turn and get the extra scry, so it's actually not that bad, honestly. But it's only 2 power. Let's bomb it, because we do get 2 scries, and bombing this scry can actually be better. A Raging Kronk. Huh. I mean, it does apply a lot of pressure. But we're not playing it next turn. We can't really double spell with it too. Yeah, I think we bomb it again. Just want to find our Spell Gorge of Weirds, and hopefully we don't flood out too much. Otherwise, I might just regret it here. So maybe we should have kept the second Burning Prophet now that I think about it, but we can always Callous Dismissal and then Heartfire eventually. Okay, I don't mind that top deck. Yeah, I think I'll Callous Dismissal maybe, and then attack for 2. Get a nice scry off, and we can Heartfire this the following turn. And then eventually we can get the Invading Manticore down to trigger the Turret Ogre, and Role Reversal isn't bad as well. Yeah, we can actually Role Reversal as well if we want to do that. I don't mind keeping that on top. Exchange a Turret Ogre for a 1/1 token, although, again, the mask could be relevant. I mean, I might as well use it now while I can, right? Give him the 1/1 token. Take his 4/4. I mean, I could always take better things. Yeah, maybe I can take better things. So maybe I should have Heartfire end of turn. Not sure. There's a lot of other options. Let's just do the Role Reversal this turn to be mana efficient. Yeah, let's just do it like this. Oh, we'll get 6 land. Let's just scry this to the bottom. Let's attack for 2. I'm fine if he blocks as well, and we have Heartfire up. If he tries to kill something. And we can always keep another land on top to play a turn 6 Invading Manticore, but another Turret Ogre I wouldn't mind as well. This is a card I don't mind killing. That's also a card I don't mind killing. I don't really want to sack anything. I mean, I could be crazy and sack the Burning Prophet, but then that's not all that great. Maybe I just attack with the Turret Ogre, and then if he double blocks, I'll sack the Burning Prophet to clear a path next turn. Because this is a pretty nice attacker. I don't have to do his end of turn. I can definitely blow him out if he tries to do some sort of double block. So land is banned. Ooh, Bolt Bent. That's a pretty nice one too. So we can keep up a Bolt Bent as well. But maybe I don't mind attacking first to see what's up. And if he double blocks, I'm also fine with the exchange. Okay, no double blocks, so now we can keep up the Bolt Bent. And that's quite nice. And this is something that they don't expect at 1 mana, so these 1 mana spells are quite powerful if you think about it. So could also Bond of Insight, but we can't cast anything with it. So I think we just attack with the Turret Ogre, and if he tries something, we'll just Bolt Bent, which can be a lot of fun. So this is great. Totally lost. So we'll let this resolve first, and then we can also put any target non-land permanent. So let's try this instead. So just a nice 1 mana counterspell. I think I want the land for the Invading Manticore and for the Bond of Insight, so I'll keep it on top. And then we definitely want to bounce the Spell Gorge of Weird. And yeah, this card is incredible. So he's forced to chump. And then I can just Heartfire my Burning Prophet for lethal. So don't sleep on Bolt Bent in the right deck. It's pretty gross. It's mostly going to excel in the red-green because it cares about power 4. But again, with the Raging Kronk and the Spellgorger weirds that were growing, and the Invading Manticore, and definitely some ways to give 4 power, it's going to be quite good in a deck like this, so not bad. Our 1-mana counterspell. So Bolt Bent is definitely a sleeper, but it's not a card you would first pick. But if you're already committed to an archetype and you can generate 4 power, most of the time it's going to be a great card. Like in this deck, it's not great in the early opening hands, but yeah, if you can draw it late and top deck it, it can definitely lead to some blowouts and prevent a blowout from happening as well. I think the poster image for this deck should be Bolt Bent, now that I think about it. But I didn't really expect it to really overperform like it does in our following couple of matches. And this is usually when we're supposed to find a game around the 2-minute mark. Don't know why the client is being weird over 2 minutes, not even a single match. Did we disconnect again? Does the game not like us because we played Bolt Bent? Are we winning too much? Okay, finally. So 5-1, this deck is really awesome. About to still get another 7 wins, hopefully. We'll see. Burning Prophet, no, but we do have Spellgorger Weird, which I'm fine with. It can get answered, which is annoying, but still fine keeping with Chandra's Triumph. It can be pretty decent, so. And we can loop back the Triumph as well once we get our blue mana. He's probably going to be on play, and we'll be on a draw. So maybe we can top deck something good. Ooh, Burning Prophet right on time. Hello there. And curving out with it is really nice. And this gives them a target to take out over the Spellgorger Weird. I think I'm fine if this eats a Divine Arrow too. Don't really care about this. I can take 3 and just develop our creatures. And eventually this can block off the 3-2. He needs to attack with more creatures to enable this. If he wants to Prison Realm this is fine. I have a Chandra's Triumph, and I can also make a 5-5 to hold this off. Rising Populace can be pretty annoying. So the question is, do I attack with the 1-3? Maybe I'm fine just keeping on my instances until end of turn. Maybe I'm fine just doing that. I can also just make this into a 4-4, which could also be decent to set up for totally lost next turn. I think I like that too. So I don't think we attack here, just play the Conduit, and it does block the 3-2 nicely. Otherwise, I'm not doing anything by mana, and it's quite bad. I could also attack with a Gorger Weird, but it's too good. So I think I think we're fine saying go. It can just grow out of proportion, and we want that to happen. And I could just attack with a Conduit next turn. I guess he can block the Conjuring and then grow the Rising Populace, but then maybe we can kill it with a Chandra's Triumph as well. Okay. If I guess we don't want to attack because he can just put a 3-2 in front of it. I don't really want to bounce this as well. So it's some pretty interesting choices here. I think we'll just say go. It does grow bigger if we bounce it, if he hits a land drop or plays a land, but it could be the right call just to pressure him for the next following turn. Okay. I think we totally lost end of turn. Yeah, we do on the Conjurant here, just to waste his time. And it's still going to become a 4/4, and we get to also scribe the Burning Prophet. Ooh, Giant's Greeting, so yeah, that's even better. Can Greeting the Rising Populace. I think we just attack with Fall. Yeah, I think we just attack with Fall. I'm fine trading off the Burning Prophet as well, because we have a bunch of instances lined up. Yeah, I think he knows about it too. No blocks. Okay. Let's see. So I think I'm taking out the Rising Populace here for sure. And the question is, do I want to scry? I mean, this can answer Planeswalker, so that's pretty important as well. So I think we're just going to take out the Rising Populace. And then keep up our instances until end of turn. Epiphany is great, so yeah. Definitely keeping that on top. And then if he's not blocking, he's just going to take a ton of damage, which we don't mind. And then we'll say go. And this plays around Band Together too. If he wants to make a 4/4, it's going to be not that great as well. And then we can still Epiphany into Chandra's Triumph our turn, because we know we're going to draw it. Yeah, it's probably just game over here for the opponent, I think. I don't really care here. Yeah, this is just too good, right? Do I want this? It's not actually that bad. The opponent's missing his land drops. Yeah, it's a good curve topper, so I think I'll keep it on top. And, yeah, I mean, these can help us close out. Jace's Triumph to draw more cards. Augur can fetch us something, so this is all really good. So I don't actually hate this. And then, yeah, we'll just attack. And whatever he blocks, we'll just shrink down. I could also just let the trade happen, honestly, and just take out the 3/2. Sure. Yeah, we'll just keep everything on top. Because by doing this, we deal more damage. Because if we kill the Conjurant just to protect it, it's not really worth it. Honestly, I just want to put him at a very low life total. So then another removal spell can finish him off for the Turret Ogre. Yeah, it's just good games here. Yeah, that was a pretty brutal beating. Alright, so final boss. Rank Mythic 24, so our rank is climbing up again. But yeah, as you can see, the power of Bolt Bench should not be undenied. But again, you would only play it with a decent amount of 4 power in your deck, or ways to enable 4 power. No, actually, let's move the picture. Let's change the picture. Why is the picture the role reverse? So it should be Bolt Bent. Bolt Bent should be the picture here. Yeah, there we have it. This is more of a 5-drop or a 4-drop. Yeah, Bolt Bent's our counter spell. Yeah, we'll leave it with the curve here. Yeah, this is more or less likely our type of curve that we're looking at in this type of deck. So let's take a snapshot. One moment. Okay. Hit the done button. Stupid Discord. It's not allowing me to click because it's overlapping against the client. So let's just add back one more time and take out the final boss. The only game we lost is the guy who ramped into Nissa, which was pretty brutal. Can we get a game in the 1 minute mark? Okay, there we go. Thank you, client. Thank you for not making us wait 2 minutes. Okay. Let's see if we can score the final boss with a Sarah avatar. Alright, we have turn 3 play, but it can't attack. But we do have the Triumph, so this hand is lacking creatures. But being on a draw and having Triumph and Crunch, I think can be okay. So we'll try this. Do I want to take out the Visionary? Not really. I think I'll wait until end of turn. It's not like I'd rather kill a Spellgorger Weird. That can be much more scary. He's also playing blue-red, and this is the turn where they play the Weird. The Aven Eternal, I guess that's scarier. But it could just be bait. We'll see. It's a good target though, so I'll take it out. Callous Dismissal we can play later, but this is a fine ground blocker. If he wants to Dismissal here, we can just Dismissal this back. Could also just play this on curve, honestly. Like, we still get back to Triumph. Do I trade here too? I mean, I'd rather just bounce it next turn, right? Yeah, that's better value, and this can hold off the other two creatures. I like the Epiphany on curve, but the Callous Dismissal here is just too good. So gonna take my take off my curve for the time being and just bounce the token. And then next turn we can Epiphany and maybe bond in the future, and this can grow offhand. So yeah, Spellgorger Weird is scary. I can also just make a 5/5. Maybe that's just fine too. Just to help play better defense. And then I can find an answer to this eventually, maybe a bounce spell and a kill spell. I mean, if I do get a land, I don't mind just Bond of Inciting and then getting back to Triumph and Dismissal and taking out the Spellgorger Weird. Turret Ogre, okay. Alright, this is pretty nice. So what we can do now is we can play the Mountain. We could just play the Invading Manticore and attack for 3. Yeah, that sounds better. Or just attack with all. Yeah, let's just attack with all. This is a nice turn. Don't mind a trade here. And taking 8 is a lot, so... And we have a good ground blocker. But if he bounces this and gets an attack, that can be kind of scary. But right now he's just not doing much, so... Can Epiphany here, can also Bond of Insight now, because I mean, it's nice using these removal spells while we can in the graveyard over the Epiphany. Dismissal and Triumph. Could just bounce first in case he has some sort of counter spell or something. Or maybe, maybe it's fine, because even if he counters this, we can always bounce it, and it's better to bounce this later, so we'll try this instead. Because if he has lazotep plating, like, sure, he protects it, but we can just bounce it and reset the counters. It's maybe a Heartfire, I think. It's probably a Heartfire. But we can still attack him for 4. I think it's a Heartfire, because he's pointing at some of my other targets here. Yep. But he still stacks his creature. Gets a Scry off. Sure. I can still attack with both. If he, I mean, if he does a triple block here, it doesn't seem that great, honestly, because I can only kill one creature. So I think we can I'm fine staying at the 3/3 and still trading for whatever he decides to double block here. And I think I'll take out the Visionary here because it's more important. Because by him looting, it's more important that it gives me more card advantage in filtering, and I don't want that, so this is fine. Now I can also roll reversal, give him the 1/1, but I don't think I care about getting a Burning Prophet or Dread Horde here, so I think we'll just Epiphany instead. And yeah, we'll bomb everything. Can also take the Karn's Bastion too. I guess we can also take Karn's Bastion because we can eventually just bounce one of the Burning Prophet or something, and then start proliferating onto the creature. Yeah, let's try that. This is pretty fun. You can also just Jaya's Greeting. Do we even need to Dismissal? I mean, it's nice on curve here, so I think we'll just do it. Set up a 1/1 Amass token, and then we can just yeah, and then we could just proliferate, and I'll keep the Jaya's Greeting after he plays the Burning Prophet again, so this is nice. And then we can start proliferating our tokens and growing them larger. And I think I'd rather kill the Burning Prophet with the Jaya's Greeting because it's just going to give him too much selection and card advantage, so don't think I care. And then I can proliferate with the land. And we just have a ton of removal. Could see a Heartfire here on a 1/1. Is it a Bolt Pent? But yeah, just having cheap, efficient removal is important in Limited. Even though you might see a pack one, pick one insane bomb that's like 6 or 7 mana that you can build around. Just taking cheap, efficient removal usually is just a lot better, and also keeps you very flexible. So yeah, our pack one, pick one was a Jaya's Greeting, nothing exciting, but still a very good card as you can see from this matchup. And yeah, not a bad 7-win video. I'm going to keep adding this deck, and yep, going to claim our prize and then open our packs. And let's see how many packs we got. It was a pretty nice run too. Alright, pack one, pick one. Let's pretend we're drafting War to Spark. Probably all these will be gems anyway, because I have everything. Yeah, out of this pack I don't mind Kiora. Best if you have a lot of high power creatures, but pretty strong, and it can also help you ramp and fix as well. I mean, not fix, but it can help you ramp. And if you're able to just constantly untap lands to play your large creatures, that's quite nice. And the cool thing about this is you can untap any target permanents. So you can also, after you attack with a large creature, you can also untap it to kind of give it pseudo-vigilance to prevent the opponent from outracing you and still having a big blocker. So this card is quite sweet, but definitely there's better first pickable cards at common like Jaya's Greeting or Cruelty over this. But those are usually the best two commons out of this set, Jaya's Greeting and Omnixil's Cruelty, and the Grixis colors are excellent. So yeah, Kiora, not playable, not good in every deck, but still quite good if you can have large green creatures to ramp into. Epiphany is probably the pick here. Blue is also amazing in this set, and this is just a powerful card draw spell. Dreadmalkin is also great, but I wouldn't play it outside of a red-black sacrifice deck. Yeah, like sure, I would maybe play him in maybe a blue-black, but it's not a high priority, whereas in black-red this is a lot better, since you're more focusing on, since there's the Grim Initiates for 1 mana that can that can amass for 1 and has first strike, and then there's also Tibalt as a planeswalker that you don't mind sacrificing for this. Whereas in blue-black, you're happier preserving your amass tokens to grow larger, so they become relevant threats. Whereas in black-red, you're more interested in sacrificing them. So yeah, there's something to be said about Dreadmalkin, but it's a pretty nice card. Best in black-red, but I would probably take Epiphany over it since it's more flexible and just a great card draw spell, and a great card you can splash in the green-black multicolor deck. Yeah, a Leyline Prowler, Aven Eternal are both pretty fun cards. Black-green is pretty fun, not gonna lie. If you can assemble a powerful black-green deck, it can allow you multiple splash options, and it's definitely one of the secret archetypes in this set because, like, cards like Tameo, the Planeswalker, and D-Spark are best in a black-green deck where you're splashing them And if you open up Bolus's Citadel, you want to kind of be an Abzan in the black-green deck where you can gain a ton of life. So it's kind of like a secret hidden archetype in this type of set. Like you can draft where Sultai and Abzan is a thing. Don't know if Jun is a thing because a lot of the red spells. I guess if you have a powerful red bomb like Sarkhan, you don't mind going some sort of Jun base. But yeah, usually the red removal spells are pretty cheap and efficient, so you don't really want to splash for them. Whereas you want to splash for more like expensive type of cards like Kazmina, Bulwark Giants. um, I don't know. Can't think of any totally lost you can even splash for. So yeah, black green is fun, but yeah, even Eternal is also an excellent common and much more flexible first pick. But one can speculate on the ley line, take the ley line prowler, and I wouldn't fault anyone since um, black green can be definitely really powerful, and the only opponent we lost in this draft was the black green drafter. So yeah, one is something can be said about the Leyline Prowler over Aven Inferno and Abandoned Flexibility, but this is also a great common. And yeah, Heartfire, Kior's Dambreaker are both pretty nice cards. And there was a pack in this draft where we saw Invade the City, and I took an Aven Eternal over it. Like, yeah, the discard isn't great on curve, but it can be pretty solid in the late game. But against other opposing decks with bounce spells, yeah, it's not amazing. But I can definitely see this maybe being the pick over the Aven Eternal for one of the packs, for the pack that I missed out on and accidentally clicked too fast on. But yeah, maybe Aven Eternal was still correct since I could use an evasive flyer, and this isn't great on curve, whereas the Aven Eternal is great on curve. But this card can be quite nice if you play a lot of instances and sorceries again, and just cast this and make like an 8/8 amass token in the late game. So something can be said about Invade the City as well, but it's definitely not a first pick out of this pack. But yeah, maybe Heartfire just as a good removal spell, but plays best if you have ways to sack them by making those 1/1 amass tokens. But this pack really isn't too exciting. The Dambreaker is an overperformer in the set too, so don't sleep on it. Um, Apparition, Zhang Yanggu. Yeah, I would take Apparition still because just being able to proliferate once per turn whenever disconnect is pretty powerful and relevant. And I think I like green. I think I like white as a base color over green, even though white is the worst color. Zhang Yanggu is better as a support color. I say, if you're playing Zhang Yanggu, is better as a support color, and it's better if you can curve out with this. Like, both of these would be amazing. Like, you can turn to Grateful Apparition, play Zhang Yanggu to follow up and put a counter onto the Grateful Apparition. But the Grateful Apparition, I feel, is going to be the more proactive card that's going to win you the game in the long run, whereas Zhang Yanggu is not a card that can necessarily win, but I guess it can help you ramp and put counters onto a creature. But I think the Grateful Apparition has a much more impactful effect if it manages to connect over Zhang Yanggu, because if this doesn't get answered immediately and you do have counters onto a creature, you can just run away with the game. Whereas Zhang Yanggu allows you to ramp, but you still have to tap the creature, and it can put a couple of counters onto creatures as well to help. But it's not going to be as insane if unlike the Grateful Apparition, where if the Grateful Apparition gets like 1 or 2 attacks off, it can just steal you the game. Whereas Zhang Yanggu, if it stays on the battlefield, might not. I mean, there's an argument for both, but I still think that I would take Grateful Apparition because it has a much more unique and relevant effect in white. White is looking to proliferate a lot in this set, and just having a constant proliferator is great. Whereas green is also looking to proliferate, but this isn't a proliferate enabler. Um, but I guess it is because it does put a counter. I don't know. There's an argument for both, but I would still take Grateful Apparition. There's an argument for Zhang Yanggu because it also allows you to splash. So if you end up in a green-black deck, you rather just have the mana fixing with Zhang Yanggu. So yeah, I guess both are relevant, but I would still take Grateful Apparition since you can curve out with it, and it can have some gross starts that can run away with the game. Between these two, they're both excellent too. I think I like the Ravager over Taskmaster. I haven't been too impressed by the Taskmaster. Like, I think black is the best color in this set, and it's definitely first pickable, and definitely an argument to take the Taskmaster and lean towards black a lot more. But I haven't been too impressed by this. Like, it's difficult to really attack use the ability in the late game, because this card doesn't attack past much. Unless unless in the late game where you can back this card up with a lot of removal spells and get in a clear attack and still pay 2 generic and black to fetch a creature. Um, yeah, it just doesn't attack past much, and it just requires a lot more work to get going. Like if black was an aggressive archetype in the set with lots of combat tricks um, to back this up. I guess Aid the Fallen, but Aid the Fallen is not a card that you really that you want a high priority toward in this set, since it's a much more grindier set where aggro doesn't really pan out too often. Um, yeah, in a set where like black red is playing run amucks and lots of powerful like combat tricks, I think this card can be quite nice, since it's almost like a 3 mana boast, in call time. Boast, get a creature from your get a target creature from your graveyard to your hand, um, which it's all right, but it's still kind of expensive to activate, and again, it doesn't attack past much in this set. But Tibalt's Rager is excellent. The pump ability can definitely make this card a must block and must answer, and then just it being able to die to deal 1 damage to any target can be pretty relevant to maybe finish off an amass token, a creature that has some damage on it, or even a planeswalker. So yeah, Tibalt's Rager is definitely better than Eternal Taskmaster, and even if I don't lean towards black, which is the best color in this set, as my first pick, red is still a very good color, and it's still in the Grixis color, so that's where you want to end up in this set. So yeah, I would take Ravager over Taskmaster, but I wouldn't mind taking Taskmaster too, because it's just a good 2-drop, a good blocker in the early game. But again, it's just really hard to enable the pseudo boast ability, because you have to boast while it attacks and not in your second or after you declared attacks. So yeah, I think I will take the Ravager. So not a bad draft. Got a nice 7-win video for blue-red spells, and I don't think I've ever gotten a blue-red spell 7-win video for War to Spark, so I do feel proud of myself. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe I'll do another War to Spark soon, and for you guys to watch, and that should be quite fun. So take it easy, and have a wonderful day. Take care.